Canon EOS M50 is this camera, and these are all my Canon lenses I use, and in today's video I'll be reviewing this camera and these lenses in terms of photography. I also have a special guest coming up in today's video, which is a Nikon shooter, and he has a Nikon lens which he will put on this camera as well. So we are both going to review it and we are both going to show you a lot of samples. Watching my channel first time, my name is Zdenka Darola. I work as a photographer. I'm a former model and a few other things. I make tutorials and fun vlogs, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I have been shooting with Canon M50 for a while now. I have it for a few months, and when I was buying this camera I had a choice to decide between 22mm lens or 15 to 45mm lens as a kit lens. I decided to go with this lens, which is 15 to 45mm, just because it's got zoom. This lens is my general lens. I shoot pretty much everything with it. I've shot a lot of selfies with this, or self-portraits as some of you might say. I've done a lot of nature photography with it, outdoor photography, and also a lot of thumbnails for my videos were taken with this lens. Next lens I have here is 50mm lens, and this one should be in everybody's bag. It's about $100, so it's very affordable. There is no zoom on this, so you're not gonna get any distortion. Whatever you see normally through your eyes, that's what you will see through this lens. Mostly I use this lens when it comes to portraits, headshots, and modeling photos. This lens performs excellent when it comes to natural light, so sunset, sunrise, you will get beautiful light through. Highly recommended for portrait photography. If you want to place this lens 50mm on Canon M50, you will need an adapter with it, and I chose com light. You can get a Canon one as well, but this one for me was budget friendly. It works amazingly. I have no issues with this. So all you have to do really is just attach it to this lens. There you go, and then add the whole thing on your M50. Here you go, here you have 50mm lens with adapter attached to Canon M50, and here are some samples taken with this setup. Now with the adapter and this lens you will add a little bit of weight to the camera, but it's still extremely light. If you enjoy taking macro photos, I love them myself because it's just so cool when you look at them. I don't know, there's something about the macro shots. The setup I was talking about, 50mm lens and the adapter, all you have to do is buy this extension tube, and it is Canon extension tube. EF25. It's fairly inexpensive as well, so all you have to do is just add it to this setup. So I mounted this extension tube on the adapter, and then on top of it I just add 50mm lens. There you go. Here is a perfect setup for macro shots, and here are some samples I took the other day just to test out the macro lens. I have two more lenses for you to look at, so I'm still gonna keep the adapter on M50 here. The next lens I have in front of me, it's this one, and it's a zoom lens. It's also a Canon lens, obviously, and it is 24 to 105mm. And I use this lens a lot as well. I usually shoot weddings with it, or family portraits, interiors, other events, you know, anytime I need a little bit wider shot. So now obviously I'm gonna show you how I attach it to the M50 with the adapter. So this is how it looks like now. Obviously it's a heavier lens, so now this setup you will start feeling it in your hands quite a bit. It's still quite small to hold it. Let's look at some samples with this setup. And my last lens here is the Beast, and it's a 70 to 200 millimeter Canon lens. I had this lens forever. I had it forever. It's my very, very favorite lens. It's heavy, but it's very favorite of mine. So let me put that thing on the M50, and I know it looks kind of funny because it's such a tiny camera and such a big lens. Now, if you're spending the money on this kind of lens, I highly recommend you to get one with stabilizer. Once you try it out, you don't want to go back. It changed everything for me. All my shots suddenly became sharp, and I'm a fast shooter, so especially when I'm shooting at the weddings, I constantly walk around. I have my lens on me like this, and I'm looking for the candid moments. So that's the lens I'm using for. I'm using it for fashion shoots, for glamour shoots, any outdoors, model related shoots, and I also use it for candid photography during weddings and other events. Normally I would shoot on this lens during weddings, but as soon as I am standing very close to the people and I pointed at them, they do that cheese smile at me, and I really don't want that. So I prefer, if I'm walking around and from distance through this lens, I'm looking at people and I'm seeing what they are doing, and I'm going to get those beautiful natural smile shots, the natural moments, natural cries, whatever is happening. So this is the secret to the candid photography. Love this lens, 70 to 200 millimeters, and here are some samples I just took randomly outdoors with this lens M50 on it. Obviously this lens is super heavy, but when you have this tiny camera on it, it's not such a big deal. If I put the full frame camera, which is 5D Mark III, I feel it. After a few hours of shooting, I'm regretting it. So these are all my lenses when it comes to Canon, and those are all my shots I took outdoors. It was chilly, so I was just running around and shooting it very quickly, and I'm happy to be indoors, and I'm kind of still warming up with my coffee here. Now we are getting to the point I need to introduce my friend, which is a Nikon shooter. He's actually my YouTube friend. That's right, we met through YouTube. We never met in person, but we've been in touch quite a bit. He's a Nikon shooter. So Ryan, are you there? Ryan? Whoa, look at this place. They don't have any snow. He's shooting nicely in t-shirts. It's not like me freezing outside. Look at those palm trees. Well, he's heavily into it, I can tell you. Ryan, stop shooting. Come here please for a second and show us the 18 to 200 millimeter lens you have there.
Hey there, Zdenka. How you doing? I have my M50 and I'm using a Nikon lens on it, but that's simply because we already had a Nikon lens here at work, and I just got a Nikon lens adapter for the M50 from B&H. It was, I don't know, 40 or 50 bucks, something like that. Not too bad. Now, as far as lens performance with the Canon body and the Nikon lens and this adapter, it does make this a fully manual lens, manual focus, manual aperture on this guy right here. But overall, if you can get that sharpness down, if you can get that focus right on point, the M50 does focus peaking, so that helps out with that a lot. Even shows you the focus peaking in the electronic viewfinder, which is really helpful when trying to manual focus this lens. But overall, I found the images to be super crisp, super clear, super sharp with this whole setup. So no complaints with this at all. Really used it for video yet, but for photos, I've used it on 3 separate occasions in one location to shoot a bunch of employee portraits, wide range of exposures, wide range of lighting situations, and I've been able to take all of those and match them very closely, so they look like most of them were taken on the same day. I've had some underexposed, I've had some overexposed, but I was able to pull them all together in Lightroom and make them look really good. But so far on the size of this thing, I think it's actually a little bit too small. I don't have big hands, but I do feel like this is really hard to hold on to with the size of it. I find myself grabbing a lot with both hands. But what do you think of this?
What do I think about the size of the camera? I gotta say, as a female, I actually like it that it is smaller, and my fingers are not exactly tiny. I have pretty big hands for a girl. But I have to admit, the first 2 days, yeah, I had to kind of get used to the small buttons, because moving from the huge camera to the smaller one, it was a change even for me. The only thing which I didn't like is the record button, which is tiny red dot right here. I switched the settings right away to start and stop recording with this big shutter. Yeah, it is small, it's pretty tiny, but the more I shoot with this, I think I'm not getting bothered by the size anymore. I'm getting used to it.
I could see this being a very, very nice vlogging camera. If you have that Gorilla Pod to hold on to it, it's very nice and light. I mean, this is small, you can throw it in a bag pretty quick. It's pretty unobtrusive, but it takes some really great photos. By the way, this is an 18 to 200 lens. It's not the best lens, but it's not a cheap lens, and it's very, very versatile. Not that I'm promoting Nikon. If you can buy this in a Canon, get the Canon version of this, because Canon is better than Nikon. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Canon's better than Nikon. Yeah, you heard it from me. There we go.
That's funny that you said that, because I sometimes say the opposite. Nikon is better than Canon. You know, when I shoot weddings, I usually hire second shooters, which are Nikon shooters, just because my camera, my lenses shoots in a warmer tone, and Nikon shoots in blue tone, so a little bit cooler. But when I combine my photos with the second shooter photos, the clients are getting good results. So I don't know, it's personal preference. I'm saying Nikon is better, you are saying Canon is better. I think we all like different things, you know, and mainly we actually like the things we don't have.
Any other thoughts on this camera compared to the EOS R? The EOS R obviously is a much bigger, better, like, beast of a camera. This, for the price point, if you're just starting out, this little M50 is like, it's the way to go. It's really good. I mean, I think you can pick these up for $600 now, probably less than that, now that a new mirrorless line is coming out. All right, I'm gonna let Zdenka take it right back over and let you get her thoughts on this M50, and hopefully you guys like it. All right, thank you.
Thanks so much, Ryan, for doing this. Thanks so much for the collab. We finally did it together. If you guys want to check out Ryan's channel, the link is in the video description below. Also, the link will be at the end of this video. He does a lot of tech reviews. He has some tutorials there as well. He's worth to check out. What do I think? You mean comparing M50 and Canon R? For the money, for the bucks, is an amazing piece of tool, honestly. I've been shooting with this, submitting the photos to stock agencies. They were accepted, no problem. I'm making money with this camera on a budget, so I can't complain at all. Also, if you are interested in a video, if you would like to see those lenses in action when it comes to video and this camera, I have a video out there which is very similar to this one with a lot of samples. The link is the video description below and also right here. So that's it, my friends, that's the end. That's all for today's video. I hope you liked it and I hope you liked Ryan. Again, don't forget to check him out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or simply want to say hello, please do so in the comment section below this video. I mean, you know, I read them all and I always respond. And I'm out of breath. So I will see you next time again. Ciao, ahoy.